you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole!
This year we're going to grab the bull by the balls and kick those punks off campus.
Well, looks like the cows have come home to roost.
Welcome to another edition of The Movie Show, brought to you by our pals at Odeon Cinemas. Odeon have their monthly Screen Unseen on July 17th. That's this Monday. The last one was actually Baby Driver, and the audience had no idea what they were going to see until they sat down and the film came on. You can actually win tickets for that by telling us which movie Kevin Spacey won his first Oscar for. He's won 2. Which one did he win the first Oscar for? Just comment below to win, and we'll pick a winner on Friday and tag them below. This week we're talking War for the Planet of the Apes. I messed that one up last week. War of the Planet of the Apes, War 2 of the Planet of the Apes.
War for the
Planet of the Apes. And I have an interview with director Matt Reeves from London. He's also directing the new Batman movie. We'll also be talking the new Colin Farrell star, The Beguiled. First though, Quentin Tarantino is back in the news, lads.
He's back,
The
baby.
Beguiled. What?
The Beguiled. In anyways.
Have you seen my latest film, Phone Box?
In anyways. This
Alexander the Bleeding Deadly. Sorry.
That's it. We'll just go on Colin Farrell impressions for the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Sorry, yeah.
It's interesting because has Tarantino's never tackled real life anything before, has he? I mean,
No.
probably in his own real life as well.
Well, there's Inglourious Bastards of bastardization, really, of what happened to him.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, there was some basis in reality in that the characters were actual.
Yeah.
The characters were
But I
actual
mean, like,
people.
it was more like a comic book film than anything else.
So what he's doing here, Brian, Charles Manson, he's looking at making a movie around Charles Manson and the Charles Manson family and the Charles Manson murders. Do you know anything about?
Weirdly enough, I do.
Yeah.
Actually,
I have a feeling because you're an emo, like an emo, you'd be into the whole
it's interesting. Well, I say it's interesting. It's kind of morbidly fascinating. I'd say that's the word I would use. There is a morbid fascination with it. Like, don't forget as well, there was that TV series Aquarius with David Duchovny.
Yeah, it was a good show. It wasn't built for network.
It wasn't exactly. It wasn't built for network.
It was based
TV
on the Manson murders and a kid gone missing.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, it's really interesting. And to be honest, like, one of my favourite Quentin Tarantino films, in fact, my favourite Quentin Tarantino film, is Jackie Brown. And Jackie Brown is like his most straightest film, you know, that kind of way. It doesn't look, it's not kind of taking the mick out of anything. There's none of the weirdness that, like, you know, Inglourious Bastards has or anything like that. It's very much straightforward film.
Yeah.
So if he's going back to that kind of, I don't want to say like
after the Hateful Eight, which was
just all over the place and just completely up its own hole. So if he's going back to that kind of, going back to basics, I'm really into it.
Are you excited by that, Dee? Are you excited by Tarantino doing a Charles Manson?
I am, yeah. I'm a big fan of Tarantino. I don't know, maybe I'm the opposite of you, Brian, because I think the Hateful Eight.
You're the opposite of him.
Well,
I mean that
in every way possible.
But I think the Hateful Eight got a lot of rap and that it didn't deserve. I actually personally thought it was quite a good film, and I'm not mad about Jackie Brown. It's probably one of my least favorite of his. I don't know, I just thought that it was like trying to be like stylistic and cool and kind of going OTT, and I was like, pare it back a bit, and I do think he did for, like, you know, subsequent movies and all that. But I don't know, I would say I am excited for this movie. And so apparently regarding casting, he's looking at Brad Pitt, who I thought he did a great job of directing in Inglourious Bastards. I thought he was like fucking hilarious in that movie. And then Jennifer Lawrence as well. And she might be, you never know, but she might be associated with the Sharon Tate.
Yeah, Sharon Tate,
Margot Robbie too, I heard.
Yeah, that's going to be...
So those kind of blonde bombshells in Hollywood, or anybody who can play a blonde bombshell and then like a top tier movie star. And Brad Pitt too. It's interesting tackling these serial killer movies because one of the best films of maybe the last couple of decades, last 3 decades I would guess, is Zodiac, in my opinion. And that was a real restrained David Fincher. I mean, on a very straight up period of facts. The book it was based on by Robert Graysmith. It was all, I read the book and it was all
it's very logical.
Very logical. So it'd be interesting to see what way he takes this.
See, that's it. See, because like, and that's the fear is that like if Quentin Tarantino takes this on and turns it into this kind of like exploitation film, which he is wont to do, you're going to be really because like Roman Polanski is still alive, Jack Nicholson is still alive, and like all these people are still who were connected to the Sharon Tate murders are still alive.
It's tricky, obviously.
It's really like it's
really
about
real life characters and murder and something as horrific as this.
And like it's really dicey stuff. Like so, if Tarantino's going to do it, you know, at the same time, he has to come at it from a respectful standpoint. But then also as well, if he makes it just like something like Zodiac, is that really a Quentin Tarantino film?
Yeah.
You know,
It's kind of hard to say because like he's so associated with bringing that sense of like black humor to it, and I don't know how you can with a story like you said that's so kind of sensitive and still like
unless the character, like I mean,
so
that's the Tay
recent.
character and you
Yeah.
know, the Polanski character, if there are one in it, if they are in it, what's at all are kind of peripheral characters, maybe in a couple of scenes. Have a couple of movie stars appear in those scenes and then concentrate on the Mansons. Maybe that's his angle.
be that, yeah.
Yeah, well, what they've been saying is they are kind of taking like the multiple storyline, you know, take on it. So I suppose it'll be kind of maybe Pulp Fiction-esque in that
Best
regard.
Quentin Tarantino movie, in my opinion. It's not even a Quentin Tarantino movie. From Dusk Till Dawn. There, I said it.
really,
Yeah, love From Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay.
First half of it's great crack.
odd.
George Clooney's deadly in it.
Yeah,
You're
no,
odd,
he's-
Brian.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, George Clooney's deadly in it, but like,
You be cool. Everybody be cool.
I don't know. Yeah, like the soundtrack's great, and Harvey Keitel was brilliant in it as well. But geez,
It's worth revisiting. It's worth revisiting. Robert Rodriguez, like he was just having so much fun with that.
I meant to say to you, there's a big giant poster of that under my desk.
He's pointing under your.
Off over there, yeah.
Off
There's a
over
big.
there.
Sorry, yeah, it's off
Nobody
over there.
on the camera can see.
Yeah, I know that.
We have to like,
I'm
spin the camera around. Anyway, we move on. I believe, I don't know if they're in a relationship. Nice segue though. Was he with Sophie Coppola for a while?
Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, wasn't
no,
that
it was
doing that?
he was going out with Sophia Coppola was going out with Paul. No, not Paul Thomas Anderson. Spike Jones.
Oh, this is getting very gossy.
Yeah,
This is
Spike
getting
Jones.
fierce gossy.
Yeah, no, it was Spike Jones.
For some reason, anyway, I thought maybe I seen them in a picture together or something like that. But the Sophie Coppola, The Beguiled, it's a remake of a Clint Eastwood movie from the early 70s.
Yes.
Kristen Wiig, Nicole Kidman, Ellie Fanning. You reviewed this one for the site. You give it a really positive review. There's so many quotable lines for the poster in that review. This one really connected with you.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, I have to say. I just thought it was so beautiful and it was so like well acted, you know, like the chemistry between Nicole Kidman and Colin Farrell is like on fire. I'm dying to see them in The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Yeah.
I hope I named that right. The Killing of a Sacred Deer now, because they just like, you can't like take your eyes off them when they're on screen, which is kind of interesting because in the trailers, and I rant about the trailers in my review because they give away everything. If you can avoid the friggin' trailers because they just wreck everything, because it's like kind of slow burning and like it's just this build up of like tension, and it really goes into like the relationships and these characters and what they want and what they're kind of fighting against their kind of natural animalistic instincts as well.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely fascinating.
It sounds
to
like there's a lot
watch.
brimming below the surface there with all of the characters.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's fascinating to watch from start to finish, and like quite a short film as well. Like it's only like 93 or 98 minutes, something like
That's
that.
something you don't see a whole lot of nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like Kirsten Dunst is, for anybody who hasn't seen the second season of Fargo,
She's incredible.
she is, how she didn't win an Emmy for that. She is such a good actress.
Yeah.
How was does she have chemistry? You're saying Nicole Kidman has chemistry with Colin Farrell, and we don't want to give anything away, but do her and Farrell have many scenes together? Do they bounce off each other?
Yeah. I mean, they're great as well. I mean, Kirsten Dunst and Sophia Coppola, obviously this is like their third movie together. They've done Virgin Suicides and Marie Antoinette as well. So yeah, she's great in it as well. Colin Farrell as well deserves a lot of credit. What was really interesting about
Brian's just fighting the urge not to do Colin Farrell impression.
I am not the Beguiled.
But what you'll find really intriguing about this film is that it kind of goes back to like this lovable Irish rogue that we've known him for being like you know, however like 10 years ago or whatever, and he's kind of gone back to those roots as being lovable and charming and so cheeky, like he's that chic of him in this movie, but cheeky. But he's really great in it as well.
What do you think of Colin Farrell's career trajectory, Brian? It's
interesting,
isn't it? He's made some interesting choices.
Yeah,
he really has. Maybe more from practicality point of view in terms of the roles he was getting, more than anything else. He's made those kind of more personal movies. Worked with Mark McDonagh, which was a huge turning point for him in Bruges.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like when you consider as well that like just before that he had done like Total Recall, which was this like big, huge studio blockbuster, and nobody went to see it, and it completely fell on its arse. Like.
Do you want to hear a story? Do you want to hear behind the scenes story
I
of
would
the
love
of the web chat?
Oh yeah,
the web chat we were supposed to do with Colin Farrell for Total Recall.
Oh yeah,
which was dog shit wrapped in cat shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're supposed to do a web chat with Len Wiseman, the director of Total Recall.
He's a bit of a goon.
He was all right. Len Wiseman and Colin Farrell. So we're going to do this web chat. We've done a bunch of web chats. They were super successful. We were trending and all that crack. Like we Jason Bateman, Mark Wahlberg, Jason Segel. Really cool, really fun. So we sat down with Colin Farrell. Or we were supposed to sit down with Colin Farrell and Len Wiseman. Len Wiseman turned up. Colin Farrell did not turn up. He shot off somewhere, right? So Len Wiseman's sitting in front. So it's people that read our questions. Viewer questions. So there's people that are like, the questions are all kind of coming in. And if Twitter was insanely big now, it would have been just easier to do it there, obviously.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So there's like all these like abusive comments coming in about the film. And Len Wiseman's sitting next to me and I'm like, ugh. Anybody know where Colin Farrell is? So finally, the phone rings and it's Colin Farrell.
All right.
So, and he's obviously I think he was heading off home somewhere or whatever.
Back to Castle Knock.
Colin Farrell's on the phone. And the way I would prefix all of these interviews is I would say, look, these are reader questions.
Yeah.
They're going to ask, some of them are going to be silly.
Yeah.
Just if you don't answer one, don't answer one. Grand whatever. Colin Farrell was not in the form at all. I've interviewed him a couple of times since, and he's the loveliest guy, right?
Yeah.
Not in the form. I was like, Sharon in Finglas wants to know what colour underwear you wear. He just hung up. No, he handed
it was your fault. It was Sharon's fault.
He handed the phone to a publicist. I just got out of the car. He was in a car going somewhere, and the publicist was like,
he's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, anyway, can't blame him.
We'll tease out these behind the scenes stories every week. Last week we were like Harrison Ford's a bollocks.
Yeah, but I still want to interview him though. I'm still on.
He's a legend.
I really liked your behind the scenes elf story.
Did you like my behind the scenes elf story? What's up with BTS? We can do some BTS.
BTS, yeah.
Hashtag. Okay, we're going to move on and talk about War for the Planet of the Apes. But before we do, Serena Bellissimo headed over to London and caught up with the film's director Matt Reeves, who also directed the upcoming Ben Affleck Batman movie.
Matt, congratulations on the film. You've said, I wanted this film to be a biblical epic. I see Caesar as the ape Moses.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because if you look at it in the history of this early ape civilization, he is the critical figure that without him, they wouldn't be where they are. And the idea, especially given the conflict of this story, which is a war story, was to put Caesar to his greatest test yet. And in passing it, he will transcend into the realm of the mythic. He will be that ape that other apes will look back at and say, you know, he forged the path for us. He is why we are here.
I know you can't say much.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling about taking on the Batman?
I'm
and what
excited.
stage are you at?
We're at the very beginning. I just finished this movie. I mean, literally, the one thing about doing a movie where the main characters don't exist until they are realized through the most complicated visual effects that there are today, that means that movie is not done until literally you're done. So I finished the movie about 8 days ago.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, literally, yeah. So that's what's so weird is I've been working on this movie for 3 years, and the last year is all about the realization of those shots. And then what happens is around the time that the last shot comes in, because Weta will work up until the very end, you're done. And so suddenly I'm like, oh, that's the movie. And then it's like, oh, here's the movie. It's a very strange process. So anyway, the point of that being that I haven't even begun to work on Batman yet.
But you're very excited about
Oh,
it.
very much so.
So we're in the unusual position this week, lads, because we're all spread so thin, doing different movies and doing different things, that the three of us have actually seen this movie.
Yes.
It's exciting, right?
It is. Right? You can actually finally have a proper chat about it, yeah. Instead of one of us just like shiting on.
Generally you.
Generally me, yeah.
You. D, this is incredible.
Awesome.
This is just an amazing blockbuster.
It's so good. Like I was talking to Brian about it afterwards, and it actually ticks all the boxes. It does everything you want for a blockbuster movie. Like there are emotional stakes in there that you really believe. The special effects are amazing. There's a bit of comic relief in there as well, and like it's a proper epic war movie. Like I was surprised. Like they don't call it War for the Planet of the Apes for nothing. Like there's a real war movie on hand here, but there's kind of a prison escape like storyline in it as well. It really like just has everything. I loved it.
This is layered in a way that we don't often see movies that cost $150 million be.
Yeah.
This is like a film you'll walk away from.
Oh, you'll still be
about.
Completely. Yeah. Jesus, yeah. And even there's like certain scenes in it that are just like, even if they are kind of on the nose, you're still like, wow, I can't believe you're actually going there. You know, that kind of way. Like there's one scene in it, and I talked about it in the review. It's when they've captured all the apes, and it's sort of like the start of the working day or whatever. And literally the American national anthem comes on, and then the lads take out whips and start whipping the crap out of the apes. Yeah. And it's that real kind of like really like in your face imagery, that kind of way. Like it's like you would not expect this of any kind of blockbuster. Like, and it was the same as well with Dawn for the Planet of the Apes as well. Dawn for the Planet of the Apes was basically an anti-gun film. That's what that really, when you boiled it right down, that's what that film was about. Was about gun violence. And War for the Planet of the Apes is kind of going into way bigger themes and all this. But then again, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't see a blockbuster made for this amount of money.
Cerebral blockbuster.
That is this cerebral.
By, say, Chris Nolan.
No, not at all. Like, and it's just, and it's really, really cool. But like, that's one level. You can read it as in like, oh, it's this really deep, dark, thoughtful film, and then you can just go in and say, oh, look, it's monkeys going all nuts, and like, like they're beating the crap out of each other. You can take it on,
it's
multiple
a monkey
levels.
on horseback with a newsie.
Like that bit.
That element is there as well. We don't know. There's so many performances in these big movies nowadays where there's no nuance. There's none. There's more nuance in the ape characters in this film than there are in 85% of some of the performances I've seen in most movies in the past couple of years. Do you think Andy Serkis is going to be one of these guys that's studied and his performances that are just going to, that people are going to look at them in like 20, 30 years in film schools and be like, how did he...
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating.
Caesar is amazing. He's such an amazing character. He plays him so well.
Well, I mean, like, for example, I know this is a weird one to kind of tie into it, but like BoJack Horseman and that whole storyline of when he like leaves and then they just like kind of animate his character for the rest of the movie and they decide to do that. So I think that there are going to be like proper studies on like, motion capture and CGI like characters now, especially with it keeps on going up and up and up. Like, for example, I remember with like reading about Toy Story and like, I know this is like years ago, but like Buzz's performance in that, like when he's all dejected and he's found out he's not a real spaceman, and now we're like, Andy Serkis brings it up another level with his performance in this film. Like, the stuff he does with his face, like, is so like, you feel so aggrieved and connected to this character. He's really amazing. Steve Zahn as well is great, though I don't know if there was the same.
Comic relief.
Oh my god, he's so funny.
Couldn't get a few laughs, get out of class.
Yeah, but no, he's phenomenal, and I'm really interested as well to see what he does next in terms of directing, because now he has his own studio, the Imaginarium.
He's got the Jungle Book.
And he's doing Animal Farm next, so he's exploring what motion capture can do through that studio. So it'll be really interesting to see what he does
Jack
next.
Rayner's going to be in the Jungle Book as well. And he's saying it's a much darker version of the Disney version that came out. Brian, finally, Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
What a director Matt Reeves is.
He's incredible. Did you ever see Let Me In?
So underrated. Yeah, Let Me In's really atmospheric.
I loved Let Me In. And like, that film didn't do well at all. Like, it really didn't do
Chloe
well.
Moretz, he was really great directing the younger actors.
Fantastic. Like, and Cloverfield as well. Like, I mean, I know we're always kind of like turning our noses up at found footage films and think like, oh, it's
Cloverfield came out of nowhere. And it was so cool when it came out. Nobody knew what it was, and then it's become this kind of bigger universe now as well, I suppose. How do you think talking about the Batman? When in retrospect, it couldn't have been a better choice.
Could not have been a better choice.
Maybe a Fincher or something like that. But at this, like,
at that level, but I mean, he's getting there to Fincher's kind of, I suppose, legacy or whatever you want to call it. Like, I mean, I've yet to see Matt Reeves put a foot wrong. That's what I'm saying to you. Like, I mean, Let Me In, Cloverfield, Dawn for the Planet of the Apes, now this. Like, I've yet to see a film that he's made that I haven't wanted to see. Do you know that? Did he
direct The Pallbearer? Wasn't that his first movie?
Pallbearer?
The Pallbearer, the David Schwimmer. I could be wrong. The David Schwimmer movie from the mid-90s.
That is going way back.
That is going way back. But no, he's an absolute.
Yeah, but he's incredible. Yeah, and like for the Batman as well, the fact that everything he's said so far is that he wants to make the Batman into this sort of like noir film, that kind of like noir detective film.
Yeah, it's kind of like screw the shared universe. Let's make a really deadly Batman film. Like, so I'm beyond excited to see that. So we all enjoyed it. We all thought it was a cracking film, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
That's kind of what it comes down to. Okay, next week, lads, Dunkirk.
Exciting.
Looking forward to this, and we will have all seen it as well next week. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. We're getting first spoiled. To win the competition, guys, as well, to win those screen unseen tickets for the Odeon, tell us what film Kevin Spacey won his first Oscar for. It's an iconic film. It's an iconic role. Comment below and we'll pick a winner on Friday. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll be right back here at 9 o'clock next Thursday. Have a good weekend.